I thought V Rising was going to be Vampire Diablo, but as it turns out, it's a survival and crafting game. That has it out for me. Salutations! I am Noriel, and today we're diving into V Rising. Like a lot of good journeys, ours starts at character creation. After designing our vampire of choice and giving ourselves an appropriate name, it's time for us to wake up. We find ourselves in a tomb where we quickly jump down a cliff and begin our journey by defeating a couple of nearby skeletons. As it appeared, we needed a bunch of bones. After disposing of them, we quickly pick up a rat, which for some reason the game allows us to do. I'm not questioning it. We then proceed to craft the ring and sword. Defeating some more skeletons earns us the next quest reward, our very first spell, which honestly excites me. I always tend to lean towards mage builds in games, be it in isometric RPGs, Terraria, or even in Souls-like games. But after testing it out, I am mildly disappointed. It really didn't do what I felt it would. We then earn our second spell, which is a parry. And you know what? This one feels quite good for now, so disappointment restored. Arriving at the gates of the graveyard, we're greeted by a massive world map, which kind of reminds me of the Path of Exile skill tree. In hindsight, this really does say more about the skill tree than does the world map. As we leave the graveyard and start taking out some more enemies, I almost accidentally learn that we can suck out the blood of wolves, as I just saw a button prompt appear on the screen and I pressed it without thinking. Turns out, the type and quality of blood we slurp out determines a variety of passive buffs, and I find that quite neat. Post-meal, we go ahead and craft ourselves a new set of armor, as well as weapons, which is when the game tasks us to go gather a bunch of wood and stone. Did I trick myself into playing a survival crafting game? I never play survival crafting games with the exception of Minecraft. There's no way this is a survival crafting game, right? Right? As the sun rises, we notice that, as a vampire, we are not a big fan of being out in the sun. This actually makes me feel well represented, as I too avoid the sun like the plague. On the journey to find some blood essence, we run to a man-trap flower, which is marked with a skull icon. I promptly ignore the skull icon, as I can see the HP go down when I hit the enemy, and if it bleeds, it can die. But, as per usual, hubris does come before the fall. Respawning at the teleporter we found earlier, we run back to where we met our end, quickly get revenge and collect what we lost before heading to a nearby bandit camp. We grab ourselves a bandit for a quick snack, and instead of helping, his friends just watch on for some reason, which... Wanting to leave no evidence of our visit behind, we make quick work of the rest. Unfortunately, we don't quite have the technology to get rid of the lifeless body, so some evidence will have to be left behind. Upon being prompted to find a build location, we head on out to a nearby mountain, cleared of hostiles and place down our castle heart. We proceed to fill it with the blood we gathered before, and now we begin to set up our base with floors, palisades, and the like. This is when it sinks in for me. This is a survival crafting game. How did I not know this? I thought this was Path of Exile or a Diablo-like journey with slower combat but more meaningful boss encounters. Having resigned ourselves to our survival crafting fate, we use the newly acquired workbench to upgrade all of our gear. This unlocks the ability to track down mini-bosses through their blood, which looks to be the main progression of the game and how you unlock new recipes. I gotta say, this I find very creative. Upon arriving at our first target, we're chased by a tree. Nature really is out to get us today. First the man trap and now this? No very so, we shake it off mid-combat. But this is when a forest dweller intervenes and complicates the fight. This leads to my second death. Listen, normally I am not this bad at video games. Trust me. Returning, we rush past the tree and arrive at our corpse. We go, finish off the forest dweller, and turns out he had already finished off our mini-boss. Oh well. We quickly snack on him and learn how to transform into a wolf. This wolf transformation does make us a bit faster, at least it feels that way, but it does make us immune to sunlight. Travel during the day will remain an annoyance going forward. The wolf transformation, however, does remind me of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which I don't think there's ever a bad time to be reminded of such a fantastic game. Who knows? Maybe we can invert our own castle someday. Tracking down the next mini-boss for research, we arrive at yet another bandit camp. How exciting! Here we proceed to clear the outskirts, heal up, and wait for nighttime to arrive. I do wonder how the bandits feel hearing some random wood chopping in the background during the day. Surely at this point, someone has to be aware that a vampire is active in these woods, right? Not my problem. We make swift work of the foreman, which unlocks a bunch of new recipes, but also a new spell. This spell gives us increased attack speed, which is neat for gardening and general resource collection. I was really hoping for more from the next spell, to be fair. Having tasted some more sweet blood, we quickly head on over to the next mini-boss. On our way, however, we have a quick run-in with what I assume is the future mini-boss? We bravely turn away from her, sparing her life for the moment, and turn our focus back onto our target. As we arrive, I quickly realize our next target is the one, the only, Ash League of Legends. Having gotten over a leak phase a couple of months ago, I can't help myself but make sure to quickly dispose of her and take her blood as a souvenir. This is for all the pokelings you had me endure. Wanting to head home, we arrive at a nearby waygate, where I find out that teleporting isn't allowed while holding anything but the most basic of materials. Not wanting to make most of the trek home in the sunlight, we quickly transform once more and run on home, arriving not too long after the sun does rise. Upon getting back home, we process more of the stuff we found, clear out most of the trees and rocks in our homestead, and upgrade our castle hard. And this is where our journey ends for today. The next step requires us to get whetstones, which we haven't unlocked quite yet, but I will say I'm positively surprised. Despite being in a genre I tend to avoid, V-Rising has left a fantastic impression upon me. Matter of fact, I already have more hours of the game recorded and ready for editing, and I'm sure by the time I've edited that, there will be even more time spent playing. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and see